Hello everybody, this is Sonya. I'm on here now today. We're in Australia and the sky's blue and it's going to be hot and it's good now, that's nice. So years ago, I don't know how many years ago, I turned this old, I found this old supper cloth thing, tablecloth, and it looked like that, okay? That's because all I had four corners. So I turned it into that. I think, I've showed you this before, but maybe a lot of you haven't seen it because it's been a while back. But because I wanted to preserve it, because I thought that it was like, you know, worth it, because somebody had done a lot of work on it, but over the years it faded. Like I've taken some, I don't know if I took the stitches out, but see where it's all coming out, all these bits here. And that black part there, I don't know if I took this out, but I did on this one, see, to cover over those black bits, I got doilies, and I put little doily bits on, and then I made these little fluffy flower things, and then I put a doily in the middle, and then I added all them little beads. Okay, so I did that in the centre and that in the centre, and then over here, I don't know, let me see what was over there. This one goes like that, that's how it goes, righto. So we've got two flowers, and then there must have been something here, unless I just did that to even out things a bit, you know? I might have wanted to just make it more substantial. Now around the outside of this here, there's yellow. On this one there was green. Unless it was missing and I decided to put green, I might have covered it with green. I left that pink part in here, and I did more around the outside to lift that up, see? Some chain stitch around the outside, both sides, with different colours. Then I added sequins in there, see, there. And I had the middle bit, like I said, the middle bit there was covered because I think when I unpulled it, when I took this bit out here, there's a lot of holes, and I thought, well, I'll just use this to cover it over, and then I put little beads around the edge of this doily, see, and then I put little, what's the name? If there was any threads missing a bit, I just redid that, you know, but covered it with a sequence, and that worked really well, didn't it? I think it worked out really good. I don't know again too what was here. There could have been a mark because there was marks all over it, so there's a bit of old stain from you know, rust or whatever, but I covered it over with a little square of fabric and I stitched around it. And the top bit, I don't think I did much with that because it was still in pretty good nick, that top piece there. And there's a mark on that bit there, but when I turn it into a bag, which I might do one day, but I'd really like to keep it because I want to know what I did, you know? I want to see the difference that you can make if you take something that's all fallen apart and you don't want it like that, and you want to recycle it, you see, so you can do that. But on this one, I probably would do the doily and the doily there, but then maybe I don't have to but I will, because if you think about it, you're going to have to do a lot of stitching, but it's up to you whether you want to do it or not. And then you just put your squares of fabric, like I did, or a doily. There's a doily there and a button, or a little square of fabric and a little doily on that, and that's fabric on the doily, that one's vice versa. So I hope you can see there what I'm doing. I'm trying to show you. But anyway, if you didn't get the hang of this straight away when I'm talking about it, maybe you just could watch it again to see what I did. If you can find something, you know, that's like this to redo, it's, you know, that's lots of fun, isn't it? Just to if you haven't got any sort of thing like this to embroider and you want to do that, and you've got to start, haven't you? So it helps you to keep on going with it. But that's what I did with this piece because I really wanted to save it, and I actually think I've got two more of these somewhere. I knew where one was because I remember putting it down there, and now I don't know if I can find the other bit, but that's okay. We're not going to worry about that. It's just going to be, I just wanted to show you what difference that made. The only thing else I've got to show you today is a couple of little pieces of my work that was in this box here, because I was fishing through here. So I did that a long time ago. You've probably seen that one where I did this nice flower, and I did that by cutting out a flower and then stitching it onto this piece of the square checked background, and I really like it. And that started from something like this. Okay, so I've got I might move this from underneath here so you can see what I'm showing you without all the disturbances. So this is that sort of thing here, sorry. Then I made it into that, sorry, back to front. So I've cut out that off of a piece of fabric, which was a really good piece of furnishing stuff, and then I embroidered on it and made, you know, it look so much different. That I think I'm going to really enjoy doing. That should be really lots of fun. Now, what else did I have? Anything else here to show you today? Wait a minute. Maybe not. I did put a lot of it back away because I can only do a bit at a time. So this is a piece of old quilt thing that I'm going to try and make something out of. And it is khaki. That's not a nice word, is it? But I think the colour, it's okay, I guess, but it seems to me it needs livening up, don't you reckon? I could make a cover, maybe, out of it, do something with the insides. It really, this is how it goes. It's been washed, and that was a pillar. There was something. It was some pillar thing, I think, but I've got more, I think, of it. So it's different, isn't it? But I thought I'd just do something with that, so I kept that out. So what can I show you today? I think I might show you a couple more pieces of what I've been working on in the past, because somebody asked to see some of my work. So I'm going to show you some of my work, if that's okay, if you want to have a look. Oh, Jeremy took the phone out. Now it's ringing again. Oh dear. Somebody must be after us important, like I don't know. Anyway. So I've got this piece here. And it's beaded so far. We're going to have to finish that, aren't we? Because that is beautiful. Okay. Now this is a piece of stump work that I'm working on. Probably been doing that about 25 years. That was one of those. It was actually going to go around a box back in the olden days, you know. It was going to be around a box. So there's my dragonfly that I haven't finished yet. So this is a little grape, right? These are only bits I haven't even finished yet. There's a pear, stump work pear. I showed you how to do him. I'm nearly sure I did. Yes, I did. I did a video on this beetle. If I can find these, I'll link them below. When I say that beetle, I can show you. No, where to put it? I have a board here, and it's got all bugs all over it. Where to put that? I might be looking in the wrong room. Could be in the wrong room for this. Somebody keeps ringing us, so I hope Jeremy can find out who that is, because might be something we need to deal with. Okay, so look what happened to them. I had it sitting there. They're like everything else. Sorry about this. Anyway, another day for that. I have a bee. I did him on a video. He's a bee. Okay. Bug. That. This is stump work piece here. There's leaves. I've showed you how to do the petals, of the flower. And there's a dandelion. And those leaves are really nice, aren't they? I did that in 2003, okay, because it's written on there. I made this one too on video. I thought it turned out really well. Now that's the one with the bit of lace behind. So that's turned out really nice, hasn't he? Now I've been working on these sort of things too in the past, but I haven't actually done a lot for a really long time because it takes a little while, and I don't since I've been on YouTube, I sort of don't have a lot of time to do things myself. But these are 3-dimensional petals made with Appleton wool and felt underneath, and that's a sort of the process there. But I've cut one out of there, so there you go. And there's another one there. But anyway, so that's those lot. And a mushroom. Now I made a few of these. They've been on pieces of my work. I'm trying now to figure out how to do a half of one. And if you see this video, you will probably see that I did a half of one before this video comes up, because I'm trying to work that out now today. So these are just some of the things, and I'll have to show you a bit more because that's not a really good example of some. Well, mostly then I've got my slow stitching and that, so that's up in here. A lot of that slow stitching. I do have a collage of houses, and I love this. I love this piece. I really want to do some more. Now I got that off of some piece of fabric. It had a lot of hats in it, and I used the hats for roofs on houses. Something's happening. My husband's on the phone, but it's okay. I'm going to finish this, I hope. So that's that one. Then we have oh yes. Then we have this dragon. This bloke here is just a praying mantis. Sonya hasn't done his back legs yet, but he's gorgeous, isn't he? Maybe we can do a tutorial on finishing him. He needs a few wing things. I do have the actual first one that I did somewhere. I have this here piece that I told you about the other day that I worked all them stitches on on the stripes. So that's a piece of that ticking stuff they call it, I think. Then I put all strips of braid or rick-rack down, and then on all of them and in between them I've been doing stitches. If you can see where I've stitched on there and here and here and here, all stitches along all them. Yeah, so that's good. Anyway, that's that one. I did a bit on this one. I might have showed you that on a tutorial, and then I don't know what I did, but I cut out the thing around it. But I can cut that out and use that as something, can't I? I also did this beaded flower. So a lot of these things I've done on tutorials, you know, and just left them, and just there. See, partly worked, and that's what I'm doing. I'm sorry about that. There's a bit of a journal there that I do. This is one of my first slow stitchings that I did. Well, when you call it slow stitching, I've been embroidering for years, but many, about 50 odd. It's scary to say that, isn't it? It is. And then I have this piece here that I did on the jean pocket, and one day I will turn that into a purse bag. This one here is all pieces of strips of vintage, really old vintage pieces of fabric. That one there was fallen apart, but I just did them in strips and put that on there way back in the olden days. Okay, so what else have I got? Well, this is one of the little pads that I made when we were doing the thing. This is one of my beaded bags here. So this is pretty much a show and tell, isn't it? Look, that's my beaded bag I made. Now I got the pattern for that out of a beaded cross stitch and beaded book. Yeah, so it's a nice bag, and it was a bit of work, but I did love it when there was the outcome. And that's an amulet bag, and it's actually a necklace. Put that around your neck. So I'll put that box back, okay. And then I got one more. I got a fair bit of stuff in. I might have to lift down a couple of pieces at a time. Hang on a minute. Where is that thing? Here. It's here. Oh, there goes all my rulers. They were laying on the side of that. That's not fair, is it? They all fell down. Okay, so I'm going to just show you my stitching for the time being. I'll show you some of the other things a bit later on. I made that. I haven't finished putting it together. That's a cuff, you know. You put it on yourself. It's a cuff, right? I made this, and that's a cuff as well, and I did really enjoy doing that. And it's laced up on the back. It's been going to go in my Etsy since the year dot, and I just haven't got round to doing them. And I really love how this turned out. I really do, because and you know what? Sometimes I like to keep things so I have a reminder of how to go about it. You know, I want to know what I did. Righto, so we got some more bits here that some years have seen plenty of times, but others that haven't. So the lady asked me if I could please show her some of my work, and I thought, well, I can do that because you haven't seen me do everything. And I've got only 1, 2. I'm just picking up my rules. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of them here. And you know how that is. It just gets, and they fell down. Anyway, so I've got this. I'll show you these now. This one I haven't finished. Look, still got to stitch that. Might put that on a tiny journal or something. I love these. Love them. Look at that. Isn't that beautiful? Okay, this is one of my very, very favourites. I still haven't put that on anything. I really enjoyed doing that. So these are other bits of work, and I've put it on. These are pieces of hankies and doilies that I have put on there and added my own touch to. So I've embroidered around the bird these crosses, and I embroidered around that piece there, and I did these little bits here and put the little pink things around that one. I did the little pink things on that one. I did and these little cross stitches. This is on a hanky, this piece, and this is on a corner of a hanky too, and I just added all that for embellishments. Maybe that wasn't a hanky, and neither were these two, but the rest of them were. The rest of them were hankies, and I did that piece there in the middle as well. I did this really long time ago when I started making coasters, and I said we could start with a coaster and we could get up to a placemat, and that's as far as I got, because then I joined them together, and this is a really, really nice piece that I did, and I really enjoyed doing that. But then I just sewed them together, and that's what I ended up with, and that's big enough for me to make a book cover out of one day if I needed to. This is one of my first bits of slow stitching. Well, slow stitching as in just the straight stitches, adding the pieces in there that are cut out from other pieces of fabric. So I've got those extra bits that I've stitched on there as I'm going along, so they're all stitched in there as you're going. You put that down and then you keep just stitching over it, and that's how you catch it in there. Same with that piece, that piece, that piece, and so therefore there are ideas for me. Okay, this one here's mine forever because I really like how I've got these different pieces put together, and I need just inspiration sometimes, you know, because I do love these fans that I did. I love these berries that I did. These are done with the ribbon. I should probably do one of those for one of my pieces of work, but anyway, we'll see what we do. This is another one that I made, and I've fixed the border around it, so so has that one got a border, but it's just a slow stitching straight up and down like that. Pretty cool. It's got a lot of vintage fabric behind it here. Actually, a lot of it's vintage anyway, so is it all is really when you look at it. You look at that and you think, well, that is. Maybe this piece here isn't, but I know that these others are. That one might not be, but the ones at the background are. Oh, that one's not. Anyway, I can see that one's been done by someone. This is a piece of vintage doily. That is there. This is there. So that's very nice, isn't it? I love that. I did this one a long time ago when Ian Brooks was starting to do that, when she started doing these things at first. But I just didn't keep up. I really enjoyed these things. I've actually done a lot of it before anyway. That was something I knew I learned how to do. The rest of it I'd already done before my own in my own lifetime. But anyway, this is really nice. So this has got the same thing on there. There, see, I've copied that on of my own. That's okay, because there's a fan there, so that's really good. And then this one is one of my very favourites, and I've got the pieces here. I've got the back and the front, but I really love this piece. It's a bag, so I just slowly turn it into a bag. When I asked Cubby last night to bring my machine in here for me, so he's going to do that. But then today he was busy when I came in here, so I didn't ask him about it. So we'll get it done another time, okay? Now this is one that I've made without using the doilies. I think, I don't know which is the front and which is the back now, because I know when I did it, I thought I liked that for the front, and then I liked that for the front, but you can't have every bit for the front, you got to have a front and a back. But I think that turned out really good. I'm absolutely really pleased with how that worked. I've added to it to make it a bit more interesting. I've put the yellow up there, put the beads on, put that there, put that there, just to give it a little bit of a lift along. Now this is another one of my favourite pieces, and it is not finished. I noticed that this morning when I was looking at things, that I haven't actually finished this one because there's plenty of room to put more stuff. And I don't know why. Don't ask me why I don't finish them, but I feel when they're done, they're finished, and I don't. It must be something I don't want to do. I don't know. And this is one of my very, very favourites, and this is all done on a background of lace, okay? So all these pieces of lace I put together as a crazy patchwork thing, okay? And then I've done embroidery and added beads and that over the top of them, and I think that's really nice. I might do that again, you know, but I'm still looking at doing something a little bit different, because I've got myself really stuck in this crazy patchwork thing, haven't I? And then of course there's this last one that I've done, and I just put, it's heavy, I put so much stuff on that, and I know that it's not straight, so I have to add another piece of fabric on it and put it onto a cover. I do love that. I do love that piece. Anyway, so that's enough for me to show you today, okay? And I'll come back and we'll do something else later. I just needed to show you a few bits and pieces. Now I've got to put these back where I got them from, otherwise I'm not going to be able to find them again, and I won't be happy if I have to do that. So thank you very much everybody for watching, and I'll talk to you later. Stay safe. Please give me a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel if you like what I do. I do all that sort of stuff. Then I've got all sorts of beading and things that I do. There's lots of things, scrapbooking stuff that I do as well. Not actually scrapbooking, it's journal making. Anyway, talk to you later. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.